Mm, Buenos días, buenos días. Está grabando. ¿Estamos en vivo? ¿Sí o no? ¿Sí o no? No lo sé, no lo sé. Mm, mm, Puede que sí, puede que no. Si tan solo hubiera una manera de saberlo, pero no lo sé. Al parecer, en efecto, estamos en vivo. Muy bien. Ahora sí, oficialmente, buenos días, persona guapa, hermosa, preciosa. ¿Cómo le va? En este 28 de enero, es un martes, temperatura baja de menos 10 grados centígrados y una alta de 9. El cielo está despejado. Y que no se te olvide que hasta la persona más chambeadora necesita descansar y cuidar su salud mental. Que no se te olvide, que nunca se te olvide que no necesitas ser perfecto para ser valioso. Así como lo escuchas. La vida es un fin en sí mismo. Así que no se dejen llevar por esta sociedad que les hace creer que necesitas hacer algo grande para valer. Solo necesitas vivir tu vida y disfrutarla. Así es. Así es. No necesitas tener todas las respuestas para seguir adelante. Solo necesitas tener valentía de aceptar que estás aquí y ahora, en este momento, y que ¿qué más? ¿Qué más? Y nada más. Si no puedes cambiar tu entorno o tu situación, tal vez puedas cambiarte a ti mismo. Pero dejémonos de mamadas y reflexiones a lo que venimos, a los chingadazos. Así es, donde nos quedamos, no lo sé, no lo sé. Página, creo que nos quedamos en la página 20, pero voy a regresarme un poco para acordarnos un poco de que estábamos leyendo. Honored sir, cried Marmeladov. Deja, pongo un temporizador. 30 minutos. Y vamos. Cried Marmeladov, recovering himself. Oh, sir, perhaps all this seems a laughing matter to you, as it does to others, and perhaps I am only worrying you with the stupidity of all the trivial details of my home life. But it is not a laughing matter to me, for I can feel it all. And all the whole of that heavenly day of my life and the whole of that evening, I passed in fleeting dreams of how I would arrange it all, and how I would dress all the children, and how I should give her rest, and how I should rescue my own daughter from dishonor and restore her to the bosom of her family, and a great deal more. Quite excusable, sir. Well, then, sir, Marmeladov suddenly gave a sort of start, raised his head, and gazed intently at his listener. Well, on the very next day, after all those dreams, that is easy to say, exactly 5 days ago, in the evening, by a cunning trick, like a thief in the night, I stole from Katerina Ivanovna the key of her box, took out what was left of my earnings. How much it was, I have forgotten. And now, look at me. All of you. It is the 5th day since I left home, and they are looking for me there, and it's the end of my employment. They're looking for me there, and it's the end of my employment. And my uniform is lying in a tavern on the Egyptian bridge. I exchange it for the garments I have on. And it is the end of everything. Marmeladov struck his forehead with his fist, clenched his teeth, closed his eyes, and leaned heavily. Oh no! Leaned heavily with his elbows on the table. Espérame tantito, chavo. ¿Dónde nos quedamos? ¿Dónde nos quedamos? Exchanged it for the garments I have on, and it is the end of everything. Marmeladov struck his forehead with his fist, clenched his teeth, closed his eyes, and leaned heavily on his elbow on the table. But a minute later, his face suddenly changed, and with a certain assumed slyness and affectation of bravado. Okay. He glanced at Raskolnikov, laughed, and said, "This morning I went to see Sonia. I went to ask her for a pick-me-up. He. He. I don't know how to read the laugh. But you don't say she gave it to you," cried one of the newcomers. He shouted the words and went off into a guffaw. This very quart group of 4 people playing music.
Quartet.
Okay. Was bought with her money. Marmeladov declared, addressing himself exclusively to Raskolnikov. 30 kopecks she gave me with her own hands, her last and all she had. As I saw, she said nothing. She only looked at me without a word. Not on earth, but up yonder. They grieve over men, they weep, but they don't blame them. But it hurts more. It hurts more when they don't blame. 30 kopecks, yes. And maybe she needs them now, eh? What do you think, my dear sir? For now, she got to keep up her appearance, It costs money. That's smartness. That's special smartness, you know? Do you understand? Do you understand? And there's pomatum. Pomada? Pomada? Pomatum, pomatum. Ah, Simón.
Pomatum.
Pomatum. No sé qué se decía así. Pomatum. Pomatum de la campana. Pomada de la belle. Pomatum 2. You see, she must have things. Petticoats. I guess it's a coat. Small coat. I don't know. I want to look it up anyways. Sorry, bro. My ADHD is just something else, you know? Definition, meaning, same thing.
Petticoat.
Petticoat. Cool. Cool. Starch ones, shoes too. Real jaunty ones to show off her foot when she has to step over a puddle. Do you understand, sir? Do you understand what all that smartness means? And her own father, here I took 30 kopecks of that money for a drink, and I am drinking it, and I have already drunk it. Come who will have pity on a man like me. It's like, come on, who will have pity on a man like me, eh? Are you sorry for me, sir, or not? Tell me, sir, are you sorry or not? He would have filled his glass, but there was no drink left. The pot was empty. What are you to be pitied for? Shouted the tavern keeper, who was again near them. Shouts of laughter and even oaths followed. I want to look it up, but nah. I think I know what it means. The laughter and the oaths. Okay, it came up again. I'm just want to know. Oaths. Definition.
Oath.
Some from a solemn promise, often invoking a divine witness regarding one's. Of course, okay, I think it's more of this. Cool. Okay. Followed. Came from those who were listening, and also from those who had heard nothing but were simply looking at the figure of the discharged government clerk. To be pitied. Why am I to be pitied? Marmeladov suddenly exclaimed, standing up with his arm outstretched, as though he had been only waiting for that question. Why am I to be pitied, you say? Yes. There's nothing to pity me for. I ought to be crucified on a cross, not to be pitied. Crucify me, oh judge, crucify me, but pity me? And then I will go off myself to be crucified. For it is not merry making I seek, but tears and tribulation. Do you suppose you that sell this, do you suppose you that sell that this pine of yours has been sweet to me? It was tribulation. I sought it at the bottom of it. Tears and tribulation. I have found it, and I have tasted it. But he will pity us, who has pity on all men, who has understood all men and all things. He is the one. He too is the judge. He will come in that day and he will ask, where is the daughter who gave herself for the cross? Consumptive stepmother. And for the little children of another? Sorry, I didn't understand that. Where is the daughter who gave herself for the cross? Consumptive stepmother, and for the little children of another? Where is the daughter who had pity upon the filthy drunkard, her earthly father, undismayed by his beastliness? And he will say, come to me. I have already forgiven these. I have already forgiven thee once. I have forgiven thee once. Thy sins, which are many, are forgiven thee, for thou hast loved much. And he will forgive my Sonia. He will forgive. I know it. I felt it in my heart when I was with her just now. And he will judge and will forgive all, the good and the evil, the wise and the meek. And when he was take a deep breath, it's all good. Cool. And when he has done with all of them, he will summon us. You too come forth. He will say, come forth, ye drunkards, come forth, ye weak ones, come forth, ye children of shame. And we shall all come forth without shame and shall stand before him. And he will say unto us, ye are swine. I don't know what that means. Swine. A pig. Okay, that's easy. Pinches cochinos. Marranos. Marranos. Ye are swine, made in the image of the beast, and with his mark, but come ye also. And the wise ones, those of understanding will say, O Lord, why dost thou receive these men? And he will say, this is why I receive them. O ye wise, this is why I receive them. O ye of understanding, that not one of them believed himself to be worthy of this. And he will hold out his hands to us, and we shall fall down before him, and we shall weep, and we shall understand all things. Then we shall understand all, and all will understand. Okay? Then we shall understand all, and all will understand. Katerina Ivanova, even she will understand. Lord, thy kingdom come. Lord, thy kingdom come. And he sank down on the bench, exhausted and helpless, looking at no one, apparently oblivious of his surroundings, and plunged in deep thought. His words had created a certain impression. There was a moment of silence, but soon laughter and oaths were heard again. That's his notion. talked himself silly. A fine clerk he is. And so on and so on. Let us go, sir, said Marmeladov all at once, raising his head and addressing Raskolnikov. Come on. My bad. Come along with me. Kozel's house. Looking into the yard, I'm going to Katerina Ivanova. Time I did. Going to Katerina Ivanova. Time I did. Raskolnikov had for some time had been wanting to go, and he meant to help him. Marmeladov was much unsteadier on his legs than in his speech, and leaned heavily on the young man. They had 200 or 300 paces to go. The drunken man was more and more overcome by dismay and confusion as they drew near to the house. It's like there, but I can't burp. Anyways, it's not Katerina Ivanovna I'm afraid of now, he muttered in agitation, and that she will begin pulling my hair. What does my hair matter? Bother my hair. That's what I say. Indeed, it will be better if she does begin pulling it. That's not what I'm afraid of. It's her eyes I'm afraid of. Yes, her eyes. The red on her cheeks, too, frightens me. And her breathing, too. Have you noticed how people in that disease breathe when they're excited? I am frightened of the children crying, too. For if Sonia has not taken them food, I don't know what's happened. I don't know. But blows, I am not afraid of. No, sir. That such blows are not a pain to me, but even an enjoyment. In fact, I can't get on without it. It's better so. Let her strike me. It relieves my heart. It's better so. They're in the house of Kozel, the cabinet maker, a German, well-to-do. Lead the way. They went in from the yard and up to the 4th story. The staircase got darker and darker as they went up. It was nearly 11 o'clock, and although in summer in Pittsburgh there is I assume it says there is no real night, yet it was quite dark at the top of the stairs. A grimy little door. Is it grimy or grimy? I know it's dirty, I think.
Grimy.
Oh, grimy. Grimy, yeah. A grimy little door at the very top of the stairs stood ajar. What the fuck is a jar?
Ajar.
A door or the other opening slightly open? Oh, okay, so just slightly open. Stood ajar. A very poor looking room, about 10 paces long, was lightened up by a candle end. The whole of it was visible from the entrance. It was all in disorder, littered up with rags of all sorts, especially children's garments. Across the furthest corner was stretched a ragged sheet. Behind it probably was the bed. There was nothing in the room except 2 chairs and a sofa covered with American leather, full of holes, before which stood an old deal kitchen table, unpainted and uncovered. At the edge of the table stood a smoldering tallow candle. smoldering first, and then tallow.
Smolder.
Smoke no flame. Okay. Tallow. Fire surface animals. Okay, bet. Okay. In an iron candlestick, it appeared that the family had a room to themselves, not part of a room, but the room was practically a passage. The door leading to the other rooms, or rather the cupboards, I don't know, into which Amalia Lipevechel, Amalia Lipevichel's flat was divided, stood half open, and there was shouting, uproar, and laughter within. People seemed to be playing cards and drinking tea there. Words of the most unceremonious, not ceremonial, oh shit, kind flew out from time to time. Words from the most unceremonious kind flew out from time to time. Raskolnikov recognized Katerina Ivanovna at once. She was a rather tall, slim, and graceful woman, terribly emaciated. Oh, okay.
Emaciated.
Emaciated. Terribly emaciated, with her magnificent dark brown hair, and with a hectic flush in her cheeks. She was pacing up and down in her little room, pressing her hands against her chest. Her lips were parched, and her breathing came in nervous, broken gasps. Her eyes glittered as in fever, and looked about with a harsh, immovable stare. And that consumptive and excited face, with the last flickering light of the candle end playing upon it, made a sickening impression. She seemed to Raskolnikov about 30 years old, and was certainly a strange wife for Marmeladov. She had not heard them, and did not notice them coming in. She seemed to be lost in thought, hearing and seeing nothing. The room was close, but she had not opened the window. A stench rose from the staircase, but the door on the stairs was not closed. From the inner rooms, clouds of tobacco smoke floated in. She kept coughing, but did not close the door. The youngest child, a girl of 6, was asleep, sitting curled up on the floor with her head on the sofa. A boy, a year older, stood crying and shaken in the corner. Probably he just had a beating. Beside him stood a girl of 9 years old, tall and thin, wearing a thin and ragged chemise. I think that's what it means. With an ancient cashmere pelisse. I think it's pelisse, flung over her bare shoulders, long outgrown, and barely reaching her knees. Her arm, as thin as a stick, was round her brother's neck. She was trying to comfort him, whispering something to him, and doing all she could to keep from whimpering again. All she could to keep him from whimpering again. And at the same time, her large dark eyes which looked lighter still from the thinness of her frightened face, were watching her mother with alarm. Marmeladov did not enter the door, but dropped on his knees in the very doorway, pushing Raskolnikov in front of him. The woman, seeing a stranger, stopped indifferently facing him, coming to herself for a moment, and apparently wondering what he had come for. But evidently, she decided that he was going into the next room, as he had to pass through hers to get there. Taking no further notice of him, she walked towards the outer door to close it and uttered a sudden scream on seeing her husband on his knees in the doorway. I don't want to. She cried out in frenzy. He has come back. The criminal, the monster. Where is the money? What's in your pocket? Show me. And your clothes are all different. Where are your clothes? Where's the money? Speak. And she fell to searching him. Marmeladov submissively and obediently held up both arms to facilitate the search. Not a farthing was there. Where is the money? She cried. Mercy on us. Can he have drunk it all? Mercy on us. Can he have drunk it all? There were 12 silver rubles left in the chest. And in a fury, my bad, she seized him by the hair. He dragged him into the room. Marmeladov seconded her efforts by meekly crawling along on his knees. And this is a consolation to me. This does not hurt me, but is a positive consolation. Honored sir, he called out, shaken to and fro by his hair, and even once striking the ground with his forehead. The child asleep on the floor woke up and began to cry. The boy in the corner, losing all control, began trembling and screaming and rushed to his sister in violent terror, almost in a fit. The eldest girl was shaking like a leaf. He drunk it all, the poor woman screamed in despair. And his clothes are gone, and they are hungry. And wringing her hands, she pointed to the children. Oh, accursed life. And you are not ashamed? He pounced all at once upon Raskolnikov. From the tavern? Have you been drinking with him? Have you been drinking with him too? Go away. The young man was hastening.
Hasten.
Hastening to be quick, to do something, to move hurriedly. Go. The young man was hastening away without uttering a word. The inner door was thrown wide open, and inquisitive faces were peering in at it. Coarse laughing faces with pipes and cigarettes and heads wearing caps thrust themselves in at the doorway. Further in could be seen figures in dressing gowns flung open, in costumes of unseemly scantiness.
Scantiness.
Small or sufficient quantity. Okay. and seemingly scantiness, some of them with cards in their hands. They were particularly diverted with when Marmeladov, dragged about his hair, shouted that it was a consolation to him. They even began to come into the room. At last, a sinister shrill outcry was heard. This came from Amalia Lippenfels herself, pushing her way amongst them and trying to restore order after her own fashion, and for the 100th time to frighten the poor woman by ordering her with coarse abuse to clear out the room the next day. Alright, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Oh, yeah, we're page 24. Cuando llegue al capítulo 5, daré un resumen de qué ha pasado, porque sí, porque se me hincha el huevo. Pero bueno, es todo por hoy. Recuerden lo que les dije, y si no, es su pedo. Bye.